Alright, so today we're going to be taking a look at the difference between probabilities and odds. When it comes to odds, there's two ways to look at it. There's what are called odds in favor and odds against. So odds in favor of an event is just the ratio of favorable outcomes to the unfavorable ones. And then the odds against is just the opposite. So it's the ratio of unfavorable outcomes to the ones that are favorable. So like most ratios, we can convert them around. So odds in favor might be A to B, odds against would be B to A, whereas A is the total number of favorable outcomes, B is the number of unfavorable ones, and together A plus B equals the total number of outcomes. So if you think back to our ratio units, these are both what we would consider part-to-part ratios, unlike probability, which is always looking at part to whole. So let's look at an example. Of the 1,750 customers at an arts and crafts show, 25 will win door prizes. So we want to estimate the odds in favor of winning a door prize and then the odds against winning a door prize. So if we're looking in favor, the favorable outcomes would be 25. So that's going to be the first part of our ratio. And then the second part would be the odds against winning. So if there's 1,750 options, and 25 of those are favorable, that leaves us with 1,725 chances. That would be against winning, and then we could reduce from there. Just like we simplified before, so these would both be divisible by 25, and this would reduce down to a 1 to 69 odds in favor of winning the door prize. And so the odds against is just simply switching our ratio around. So there's 69 chances that you would not win the door prize to 1 chance that you would. It's important to note that probability and odds are not the same thing, but they are related to one another. So suppose you want to know the probability of rolling a 2 on a fair die. There's one way to get a 2 and 5 ways to not get a 2. So the odds in favor of rolling a 2 are 1 to 5. Notice the sum of the numbers in the ratio is the denominator of the probability, 1 out of 6. So that's the main difference, is that odds are always going to be written as a part-to-part ratio, whereas probability is going to be a part-to-whole. So converting odds to probabilities, if you think about it, then the odds in favor of an event are A to B, then the probability of the event would be that A over A plus B, because you'd have to put the two parts together. Let's look at an example of what that looks like. So if the odds in favor of winning a CD player in a school raffle are 1 to 49, we want to know what's the probability. So the odds in favor are 1, and you have 49 chances to not win. So 1 plus 49 would give us 50 total chances. So the probability of winning the CD player would be 1 out of 50. Why don't you pause the video and try this one on your own? Looking at it, if the odds against winning the grand prize are 11,999 to 1, the probability of winning the grand prize. Once again, we have a part-to-part, so when we add those together, we know we have 12,000 total chances. So that's going to be our denominator. The difference here, though, remember this is odds against winning, and it's asking for the probability of winning. So here we have to actually reverse this. So our odds there was an odd of 1, so the probability is going to be 1 out of 12,000. If we were going to go the other way and change probability to odds, we kind of have to just break apart what the probability means. So here, if the probability of an event is 1/3, that means on average it will happen 1 out of every 3 trials. And it will not happen 2 out of every 3 trials. So the odds in favor of the event would be 1 to 2, and the odds against would be 2 to 1. So breaking it down is just taking your favorable to unfavorable so that they add up to that denominator. Once again, that's the whole. So let's look at a couple of examples. The probability of winning a free dinner is 1 out of 20. We want to know what's the odds in favor of winning a free dinner. So if the probability of winning is 1 out of 20, the odds in favor are going to start out with 1. And since we've used 1 of the 20 chances, that means that there are 19 chances that you would not win the free dinner. So the odds in favor would be 1 to 19. Why don't you pause the video and try part B on your own? Once again, we look at probability of winning a door prize, and it's 1 out of 10. They want to know the odds against winning a door prize. So if there's one way to win, that means there are 9 ways not to win to one way to win. So it would be a 9 to 1 ratio of odds against winning the door prize.